Welcome to Very Rich Stories, where you will see stories of betrayal and secrets, revenge, redemption, and you will see people rise. And now, don't overthink it. Derek drove up in the vintage Porsche Carrera GT. He looked good in it. He parked and got out, taller than expected with the way he sat in the vehicle. He is a tall drink of water. Tasha saw him from the window of her luxury apartment and considered herself fortunate, even lucky. Derek was the most handsome boy in her college class. And even though he paid her no attention in college, a year later, a full year after graduation, they happened to bump into one another and started talking. It's as though he finally noticed her. That day, they sat and had coffee together. He was so attentive, like there was no one else in the room, no one else in the world but her. He smiled his most charming smiles for her, and then he walked her to her car. He worked around the corner, so as she drove off, she saw him walking back to his office building. That day is when Tasha learned that Derek is a fine car aficionado. By this, Tasha was led to believe he was interested in and accustomed to the finer things. That was 8 months ago. They had dated regularly from that moment of serendipity in the coffee shop. She couldn't believe he was interested in her. Quiet, unassuming Tasha. He hadn't said 2 words to her in 4 years of college. But now? Maybe it was her turn. After all, she deserved good things, right? Her family was affluent, very outgoing and outspoken, but not her. They tried to pull her out of her shell and actually wondered why she had a shell in the first place. Her sister had tried to give her a fashion makeover, but she didn't really like dressing too flashy. Her mom had taken her for a new hairstyle and makeup. That lasted a week. And then she was back to her natural curly hair and little to no makeup. She was understated rather than overstated if you had to peg her. It was her father who had gifted her the sports car that she drove because he thought it would help her fit in with a more outgoing crowd, and his daughter would blossom. She had finished college and was working in her own business and enjoying success. But Mom, Dad, and her sister, Susanna, all thought that if she was more extroverted, or at least less introverted, she'd be happier, do more business, meet more people, and maybe even get married and have a better life. Derek got out of the vintage Porsche Carrera GT and sauntered to the door. Tasha knew how Derek didn't like it when she kept him waiting and always trying to please him. She opened the front door before he even got to it, letting him know that she was not only ready, but so glad to see him. He expected no less. He's Derek, after all. He greeted her and said, "You look nice." She said, "So do you," with a little smile. She knew that outfit that he wore. She was with him when he got it. They drove in silence to the restaurant. Derek pulled Tasha's chair at the fine dining establishment, where they were practically regulars. As he did, his eyes scanned the room. He saw the regulars. He saw the regular employees and, he thought without saying a word, a new girl. Even at their age, 25, and he was 26, they could afford the nicest things and the nicest places. That new girl was their waitress for the evening. Ever-charming and chatty Derek interacted with the waitress for a bit too long, according to Tasha's estimations. Tasha never spoke with the waitress because Derek ordered for both of them because he allegedly knows best. Tasha remained silent. Then he lowered his head and stared at his cell phone, not really interacting with Tasha. His ignoring her used to bother her, but now she's gotten tired of talking to him about it. Choose your battles, is what the old folks always say. They are on what looks like a romantic date in an upscale restaurant. They are in their finery. It's evening. Candlelight is shimmering, creating a romantic ambiance, but there's no real romance. Instead, there is an emotional tension. She's dressed nicely, making an effort. He's half engaged, checking his phone occasionally, glancing around. The new young waitress serves them. He makes eye contact with her a little too long, compliments her unnecessarily. Something like, "Him, charming. You've got a great smile. You must make tons of tips." Tasha notices, gives him a look. He brushes it off and smiles at her, acting like it's no big deal. Finally, dinner is over. The check has been placed on the table. Tasha excuses herself to the restroom. As she walks back to the table, she sees the waitress reach for the signed receipt. She catches a glimpse of it on the tray just before the waitress lifts it, and clearly sees Derek's phone number written under his signature. Her face drops. This is a quiet but heavy moment. It is the equivalent of a stab to Tasha. She decided not to shrink back, so on the car ride home, she brings it up gently. Tasha says carefully, "I noticed you gave the waitress your number. Why would you do that?" Derek freezes, looks at her like she's crazy. Him. "What are you talking about? I signed the receipt. When I came back from the restroom, I saw the receipt. You didn't see anything, because it didn't happen. Are you seriously accusing me of that? You're really going to ruin a nice night over something you made up? You always do this. Don't overthink it." Tasha is hurt, confused. She stares out the window, doubting herself, biting her lips so she won't cry. Why is it that she imagines things when she is with Derek? She wondered what was wrong with herself. He made me feel like I imagined it, but I know what I saw. Still, maybe he's right. Maybe I am overthinking everything. The warning? She can't hear it yet. One Saturday morning, Tasha's longtime friend said, "Hey, let's go shopping. I want to see what's new at the mall." They met up around 11, and by 1 p.m. they were kinda tired. They plopped down in the food court after getting smoothies. Allie is animated but cautious, clearly uncomfortable with what she's about to say. "Tasha, yes? Okay, I wasn't going to say anything, but I saw him last week, at that rooftop bar near 5th. Him? Who?" "Derek." Tasha stiffens a little and then says, "What day?" "Friday night." Tasha laughs it off a little. "What, with friends? Maybe it was business, so with clients?" Allie hesitates, looks Tasha in the eye. "No, with some girl. Definitely not just friends, like hand on her lower back, whispering in her ear, kind of vibe." Tasha shifts uncomfortably. Her heart rate picks up. Without realizing it, she decides to defend Derek. "Allie, Derek is friendly. He could have been talking to anybody." Allie glares at her, like, "Girl? Really?" Tasha responds, not really wanting to ask, "Are you sure it was him?" Allie nods, 100% sure. "I didn't want to believe it either. But I saw it, and I've seen her before. Same girl he was flirting with at Jamal's party." Allie looks down at her smoothie, grabbing the cold cup as to cool her hands that were getting hot with anger. Tasha then softly says, "That doesn't sound like him. Tasha, girl, I know this is hard to hear, but I think he's playing you." Allie recoils just a little. Tasha strongly says, "No, he wouldn't do that. He's not like that." "He tells me everything. We are really close," Allie says. "I'm not saying this to hurt you. I don't want you to get blindsided. You've been second-guessing yourself ever since you started seeing him." Tasha interrupts with a shaky voice. "He says I'm just overthinking, that I make up stuff that isn't there. I just want to trust him so we can build a good relationship." Allie's face drops. "Tasha, oh, honey, that's gaslighting." Tasha looks away, her jaw clenched. Tasha has a private flashback of Derek getting confidently out of the vintage sports car, then to a quick image, the receipt from the restaurant. But she shakes it off. Tasha says while forcing a smile, "I appreciate you looking out for me, but I know him, he's not like that." Tasha gives her a look. Not judgmental, just quietly sad. Her phone rings. It's Derek. "Hey Tasha, my family is having an impromptu barbecue cookout. Come on over." "Oh, I'm at the mall with Allie. So both of you come on over." Tasha and Allie arrive that sunny afternoon to the backyard barbecue at his parents' house. There's laughter and food, kids running around. His family seems warm, welcoming. Motown music and all the oldies are playing in the background. The backyard is full of food, laughter, grill smoke, and bid whist. People clinking drinks, playing cornhole. Kids are running around playing tag, and everyone is having a good time. Tasha walks in with Allie. Both are greeted warmly. "Hi, Tasha. I'm so glad you are here. You know, I believe you and Derek have such a bright future ahead of you. Ever since he's been with you, he has really been succeeding in business. You are so good for him." "Between me and you," Derek's mom whispers, "you are the type of girl that he should be with." Tasha smiles politely and brightly. Tasha looks at Allie like, "See, Derek is great and his family is great, and I'm included." Tasha and Allie go to the kitchen to help Derek's mother set up food. Meanwhile, Derek is across the yard chatting closely with an attractive woman. Through the kitchen window, she sees Derek with his arm around this woman's waist, leaning in to whisper. Tasha narrows her eyes. Allie sees it too and begins to get angry. They take out some trays for a closer look. Tasha, to Allie, whispering, Who's that? He's all over." Tasha glances up and shrugs. One of Derek's male family members overhears them talking and says, "Oh, her? That's his cousin. I think her name's Jenna." Tasha's expression relaxes a little, but still watching. "They are kinda close, for cousins," says Allie discreetly to Tasha. I don't want to overthink it, Allie. If he says it's his cousin, then... Later, Tasha is in the kitchen grabbing drinks. She is standing looking in the refrigerator in such a way that they don't see her. These real cousins walk in shortly after she goes into the kitchen. They are laughing with one another, but laughing at Tasha? Derek's relatives are also laughing. I can't believe she bought the cousin story. She? More like they. He told Tasha that Jenna is his cousin and told Jenna that Tasha is also his cousin. He has used that line on so many women, so many times. At this rate, Derek's got like 12 cousins that he's not even related to. They crack up laughing as they walk through the kitchen. Tasha freezes, eyes wide. Cousin? Mocking? Right? Poor thing was standing there smiling like it wasn't obvious. He's so good at this. Laughter. Tasha quietly backs out of the fridge and out of the kitchen, shaken. Outside, Tasha stands alone by the fence, trying to process what she just heard. Ailey walks over, holding 2 drinks. Allie, you okay? You look like you saw a ghost. Tasha hands her a drink, pausing. Then, that's not his cousin, Allie. Allie frowns, confused. What do you mean? Tasha answered. I just heard them laughing about how they tricked me, the whole family, they're in on it, it's a joke to them, how he lies to me, to anyone he's dating, to everyone. What? What? He's not just gaslighting you, they're all helping him do it. Allie looks across the yard. He's laughing with Jenna, not a care in the world. Tasha. They've all been lying to me, laughing at me. I feel so stupid. You're not stupid. You're trusting, and he took advantage of that. He also told Jenna that I'm his cousin, and it's all a joke to them. Oh my God. His voice echoes in her head. Don't overthink it. You didn't see that. You're too sensitive. A beat of silence, then Tasha's jaw clenches. Let's go. I've had enough, Allie. They each set down their red cups and leave, not saying goodbye to anyone. Derek's mother sees them leaving and tries to catch up with them, but they have gotten in their car by then. Derek's mother is not into the game. She really thought Tasha would be good for her son. 8 months ago, when Derek was on a coffee run from his nearby office building, he saw a vintage Porsche Carrera GT pull up to the coffee shop he was going to. He said out loud, but to himself, damn, that car alone is worth nearly $2 million. Then he zoomed in on who got out. She looked okay, kinda cute, but more than cute, she looked kinda rich. Tasha. He knows her from school. It was at that moment that he decided to pause a bit, let her go in, and then fake surprise that he just happened to bump into her. He didn't want her to know that he saw her get out of that car. Damn, that car. Derek, charismatic, manipulative, image-obsessed. Money-obsessed, wants to climb socially and financially, not capable of real intimacy because he is already in love with himself. Derek is forever chasing ego hits from women. His supply, the next woman, then the next, then the next. Uses emotional manipulation to maintain control while seeking other supply options. Tasha. He had heard that girl's father had a lot of wealth, but he never got around to talking to her, what with all the other ladies who were throwing themselves at him in college. While he stalled, Derek paused there on the street and did a quick search on his cell phone. Tasha comes from a well-off, well-connected family, highly respected parents. Business and political connections, oh, this could make his career, thinks Derek. 12 minutes, now I can go in and bump into my new lady, says Derek. He treats Tasha like she is a goddess. Well, at first. But his first quest is to get her to feel needed. To help him. Tasha, I'm doing very well in business since graduating, but I remember you from school, and I know that you're really smart. Thanks, Derek. So Tasha, I could use your help. Maybe we could go shopping, and you could help me look more professional and polished, to revamp my look. Tasha goes with him, all right. Next thing you know, she is paying for everything he buys at the mall. That was fun, thinks Derek, who tells one of his friends who is a woman chaser just like him, I'm going to tell her that I need custom-tailored clothes. These are nice and all, but I'm going to tell her that these mall clothes are not making the statement that I need to be a standout in the business world. 2 weeks later, they are at a haberdashery shop, and Derek is being measured for 3 custom suits. One, a tuxedo with all the fixings, that Tasha just smiles and says to him, "Happy birthday, Derek." It is not Derek's birthday, but Tasha has been lied to, big time. In his work setting, now that he'd been fake dating Tasha for a month, he casually name-drops her parents to impress others. Her dad's got connections in both business and political circles. That man's a billionaire. He might help me get a foot in the door. Derek has his own place, but now he's always at Tasha's luxury apartment as if he lives there. He often pressures her into introducing him to influential people under the guise of networking. Tasha's mom and dad are delighted that Tasha is suddenly interested in the black tie events they usually attend. They meet the vivacious Derek and are so happy that Tasha is breaking out of her shell. On the week of the first fundraiser, gala, black tie event, Derek says, "You know, Tasha, my car is okay, but if we could show up in your Porsche Carrera GT, that would make me look really legit, and it would be great for networking because I'd look so successful." "Well, Derek, after you get dressed, come over here and we can take my car there," he interrupts, "or you could come over and get me and then I could drive." He raises a pleading eyebrow. "Okay, we can do that." She gives in. That night after the event, Derek says to Tasha, "This has been great. Would you please, please, please let me drive your car a little longer? I will take good care of it, and I know it will get me more business and deals and contracts. I will make you so proud." Tasha wasn't a car fiend, and there were other cars in her parents' compound that she could drive, so she said okay, drops Tasha off at her parents' house, and keeps Tasha's car. She was keeping her man happy, so she could keep her man. Well, that's what she thought. It never dawned on her that Derek was using her when he said, "Tasha, let me borrow your black Amex. That would look really dope if I pay for my business dinners with that." "Derek, I don't know." "Well, you know what would be even better?" "What?" she says. "If you just put my name on your account and get me my own card, I'll pay the bill every month like clockwork." "Derek, that's an odd request. It's not like we are married." "Well, not yet," he says with a sheepish grin. "Come on, Tasha. I tried to get one, but I haven't been in business long enough. Tasha, please?" "Pretty please." Derek put on his sweetest smile and his puppy dog eyes, and she said, "Yes." After some days, Tasha's dad did ask, "Where's your car, Tash?" She said flippantly, "Oh, Derek has it." Dad dismissed that as, "Oh, they are finally getting close." He thought wedding announcements might be on the way. Tasha's sister's eyes narrowed distrustfully. As Derek begins to have his way more and more with Tasha, he gets lax. He starts to become different. Where she was the only person in the world when he treated her like a goddess, now she's become invisible. The more business he does, the more his business grows. With Tasha's dad's help, the more aloof he becomes, but he is still in her apartment. She almost never goes to his. Her apartment on a lazy afternoon, she walks in on him texting someone and quickly hiding his phone. She sees a glimpse of a name or emoji-heavy chat. She doesn't accuse, but asks casually, "Who was that?" He's irritated immediately and becomes defensive. "Why are you always snooping? Can't I have privacy?" "You're spiraling again. Don't overthink it." She backs off. As relationship tension rises, Tasha begins journaling. This is a subtle sign she's starting to doubt him, but still blames herself. Her family's words echo in her head. She needs to come out of her shell or no man will want her. This worries her, so 2 days later she goes over to her parents' place to see her sister, who still lives at home. But she is an adult and life of the party. Every party. Tasha's sister, S, says, "Hey, Susanna," says, "Hey, Tash? Yeah, new restaurant, put on your glad rags, girl, we are going out." "Okay, you know what?" whispers Susanna. "Wear this. This is a hot dress." She gives Tasha one of her outfits and one of her wigs, so she doesn't even look like herself when she's all dolled up. "Let's go have a little fun." Club Nouveau is gorgeous inside. "Susanna, you said we were going to a restaurant, not a club." "Tasha, they serve food here, so it is a restaurant. It's dimly lit, and it is bumping in there." As the girls sip their drinks, Tasha looks over a couple of tables away is Derek. He is with a girl. "Tasha, what's wrong with you?" "Tasha, that's Derek over there with the waitress from the restaurant we usually go to." "Is he serious right now?" "I see," said Susanna. And she is all over him. He is all over her. He never sees Tasha because her latest Susanna makeover made her look completely unlike herself. Derek's waitress date excuses herself to the restroom. Susanna gets up from the table and says, "I'll be right back. Stay right here, do not go to him." "Right? I'm not going, but I will keep my eye on him," says Tasha. "But where are you going, Tasha?" This is why people have sisters. Susanna lingers at the sink and then starts talking to Derek's date when she comes out of the stall and checks her makeup. "You are with a pretty hot guy." "Yeah, he is, isn't he?" She giggles. "He's rich, too. He drives like a $5 million car." "Oh, that's awesome. Usually guys like that are taken." "He's single?" "He's dating some girl. I saw him with her before. They aren't connected. I mean, he gave me his phone number while they were on what was supposed to be a date. So there's that." "Wow," said Susanna, "he must really be into you." "Yeah, I think so," says the girl. Then she adds, taking out her cell phone, "Listen to this." Even with background music and noise, the waitress has audiotaped Derek saying, "She's not my type, but she's a gold mine. Just need to keep her sweet until I level up. Her family's loaded. I'm just playing the long game." "But you," he emphasizes, "you are my type." "Girl, if you were a biscuit," she interrupts Derek and says, "I have to freshen up." That sounds promising. You go, girl. Why did you record him?" "Girl, I've got to protect my interests." "Well, I know that's right. What's your name?" "Bridget?" "You go, Bridget. Get that man." "I know, right." She giggles like a silly woman and leaves the restroom. Susanna takes a deep breath and sighs. She checks her own phone because she recorded all of that, including Bridget's recording of Derek. Susanna rushes out of the bathroom, throws some money on the table, and snatches her sister out of that place. Not before Tasha saw Derek pay the check at the table with his date with her black Amex. Bridget came back just in time to gush all over the card. Susanna took Tasha home and played the recording. She heard the recording within the recording. She was mostly stunned, but a little bit relieved. She wasn't imagining things. She wasn't crazy. She was sad. He never loved her. Her kindness was exploited. Her family's generosity was used as leverage. And she wasn't imagining anything. She was targeted. "Well, Mr. Derek, I am no longer your target," she boldly exclaimed. "Even strong, smart people like Tasha can be deeply affected by manipulation. And that healing isn't just about moving on. It's about processing what happened, rebuilding trust in herself, and breaking the cycle." The next day, Tasha made an emergency appointment with well-regarded relationship therapist, Dr. Joanne Clark. 2 p.m. About the same time, Tasha entered Dr. Clark's office the next afternoon. Her Porsche Carrera GT had been gently lifted onto a flat bed and returned safely to her family's compound. Tasha would bring the Lexus SUV back and get her Porsche. Derek would leave his office building and have no ride home. Not her problem. She had already canceled his black Amex last night after the club. She didn't confront him. She didn't provoke him. She didn't make a scene or embarrass anyone. She simply handled her business. She had called the tailor to make sure no further charges could be made in her name and closed her account at that tailoring establishment. She had asked her father to reach out to all contacts of his who had begun to do any business with Derek to remove his endorsement of Derek and his company. If Derek had been a slippery, slimy fish, this was a catch-and-release moment. He may have thought he caught her, but she was releasing him back to where he was before she found him or before he found her. She wasn't just hurt by Derek, she was systematically broken down. Her instincts were constantly questioned. He had even gotten her to doubt and question herself. She stayed with Derek too long because she believed in someone who lied repeatedly. Dr. Clark's office was minimalist, peaceful. A soft chair, a box of tissues. Tasha sits across from Dr. Clark, a calm, empathetic therapist in her 40s. "So what brings you in today?" Tasha hesitates, then says, I don't trust myself anymore. I saw things, so many things, and still stayed. I let him convince me I was wrong, that I was crazy. The doctor says that's not crazy, that's emotional abuse." Tasha swallows. A heavy tear rolls like a tiny bowling ball down her cheek. "I used to be confident. I used to know what was real. But somehow I let my family convince me that I was in a shell, so I tried to break out of it. I think I tried too hard. I did too much. My shell was protecting me, but I don't want to go back into it. Isn't there a balance for me?" Dr. Clark says to her, "No more shells for you. Don't get buried under someone else's voice, but you don't have to overdo it to break out either. Let's help you find your own again." Gaslighting didn't just damage her relationship, it damaged her sense of reality. I'm glad you came for therapy. It shows you are choosing to heal consciously, not just cover it up. But I don't trust myself anymore. I saw things. I knew something was off, and I still stayed. Dr. Clark answered, "That doesn't make you weak. It means you were trying to love someone who was never honest with you." Tasha, I keep hearing his voice in my head. Don't overthink it. Now I don't know when my thoughts are real or when I'm just paranoid. Gently, Dr. Clark says, "That's what gaslighting does. But the fact that you're sitting here means you do know what's real. You just need help finding your voice again." Tasha nods. I want that. I want to trust myself again. Dr. Clark asks Tasha rather timidly, "Yes? After I trust myself again, will I then be able to trust men and trust people again?" "Yes, Tasha, most assuredly. Let's work on you first. Can you come weekly for the next several sessions? And then we can see how you do from there." "Yes, doctor. Thank you." One evening, 6 months later, it's the golden hour. The street is alive with soft bustle. People walking their dogs, others heading to dinner. Couples strolling together holding hands and talking. A musician playing acoustic guitar on the corner. Tasha, effortlessly composed, walks down the sidewalk alone. She's glowing, not because of makeup or flash, but because she's at peace. She's grown, she is healed, she is free. She's wearing her favorite new custom t-shirt from Breakup Central on Etsy. Not overthinking, just thinking. There's a difference. Tasha walks forward, sunlight on her shoulders, the city humming around her. Behind her, the man calls to her. She hears his voice as from a very far distance. It's Derek. "Tasha! Tasha!" She keeps walking. "Tasha, come on, can we talk?" She doesn't turn back. She keeps walking until she gets to her vintage Porsche Carrera GT. She gets in it and peels out. Finally, I realized I wasn't overthinking. I was right. Nobody should want a man, a relationship, or anything so much that they lose themselves, and especially to lies and gaslighting. It wasn't me, it was him. And now I trust myself again, and I'll never again lose that. If it feels off, it probably is. Don't overthink it. Thank you for watching this meaningful relationship drama. Be sure to share with someone who needs this, and thank you for liking and subscribing. Until next time on Very Rich Stories.